This is Aziza Jalaluddin, and I am so thrilled that we are into our 6th episode. This Shining Red Dot show is in conjunction with the launch of our Shining Red Dot book, which has got about 30 authors, co-authors, who are invited to share their experience, not just as a success story, but also in terms of them demonstrating their journey in globalization, as well as giving their tips and tools for you to shine in your life, in your business, inside out. How exciting is that? Because when we first put it together, the name Shining Red Dot is really inspired by our PMD's 50th National Day speech rally that said that Singapore requires to be special and stay special, as well as be the Shining Red Dot. So that's definitely an inspiration for us to name this book The Shining Red Dot, and launching it in the month of August, really celebrating our nation and celebrating business community. Now, this first segment, as you might know, of this show has been about sharing on our founding father, our Singapore founding father, Lee Kuan Yew's words of wisdom, and reflecting some of it, in terms of that. So let's look at what we have in store.
Is the mechanics of getting people to follow your policies step by step and to be with you, to adjust your policies so that you cause the minimum of upsets. Modify, modulate to lessen the discomfort of resettlement. Give him more compensation, more solace to let him restart life anew, because new buildings have to go up where he used to stay.
So we are actually looking at Dr. Lee Kuan Yew, as we know, the founding father. He is someone who has given us loads of words of wisdom in terms of walking the walk of making Singapore as what it is today. So this segment that you heard, and what really inspired me, caught my attention, was the word modify and modulate. So in our business, how much are we modifying and modulating? How much are we allowing our business to take on, being sensitive? It's so important for us to be sensitive to the growth that we are creating in our company, as well as the people around us. How much are they adapting to it, and how much are we collaborating or allowing them to adapt to it is so important. And I've learned really expensive lessons, understanding and being sensitive to modulate and modify so that we can get people to grow with us effectively. So think about that for your business as well. Now, this next segment that we are looking at is with Dr. Saravanan. I have known him for many years, and he has been one of, some of my health conditions. I've consulted him, and so did my husband, and we have had some amazing results through his natural therapies. It was wonderful to have a session with Dr. Saravanan at our office in ABCI, and it was wonderful that he was able to share some powerful tips on business leaders going into global market, having a stronger mind, body, and spirit. Let's listen to him. Normally when SME owners, they are usually the runner of the company. So when they come and look for you, what are normally the challenges that they are facing?
Well, primarily many of them are facing some kind of stress, and that develop to anxiety. On extreme cases, it's gone to depression. The others are with body aches and pains. They are falling sick regularly with colds and flus. And some of them are worried that they will end up with a chronic illness because of the level of stress that they are holding on to themselves.
Yeah, that sounds really serious. And I know that, especially those who are traveling, we're talking about going into global market.
Yes.
Being ready for that in a stamina level, in the space of health. What do you have to tell these entrepreneurs?
Well, first they have to take their health as a serious issue. In order to function and operate their business effectively, they're going to be at the peak of their health, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Yeah. So for this to come into full place, they need to have some kind of an action plan, and they need to see through that they are covered properly in terms of supporting their health. and then eventually this will also translate into their organization. So staff could be taken care of, and they are also empowered to take care of their own health. And together, as a healthy organization, physically, mentally, and emotionally, they thrive, and they increase their productivity, their sales, and all the things that they're aspiring to achieve as a
Can you
business.
share with us some health tips on how leaders can take care of their health and also, shine in their own space of...
So, Aziza, the leaders would need to have a proper understanding of their health. I would encourage them to go to a lab and get a proper health analysis done. A simple blood test would do, or a comprehensive test that would give an idea of how their health is.
Is there a certain timeline you recommend that someone does these health tests?
Well, it's done like once every 3 months or 6 months, or every quarter. 6 months is good enough, yeah. And once that is done, you know how you're improving or how your health is now, if you're on therapy. And then you need to also become aware of how you are eating, the kind of diet that you have that you're taking on a regular basis. We all are creatures of habit. We tend to eat the same kind of food. Drinking sufficient water, right? Exercising plays a big part. And then stress management also has a good part in your health and well-being at all aspects of your life. Yeah, and then taking essential supplements that you need to improve the quality of your wellness. Yeah, like in Singapore, everybody goes to work before sunrise and they return home after sunset. So literally, they are not having enough sunlight. Yeah, because they don't have enough sunlight, they are all deficient in vitamin D. Yeah, and I would say that anyone would benefit by taking some form of vitamin D as a supplement. Yeah, and this will literally prevent stress. It can eliminate depression. Yeah, improves their heart health. It could prevent stroke. It can improve their calcium function. Improves their immunity as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and taking water, drinking enough water is very important. Many of us do not drink enough water.
And especially when we are traveling and doing all these,
yes,
work.
especially women, for a variety of reasons, they do not drink enough water, and so they are very dehydrated. When you're dehydrated, you cannot function well mentally. You can get depressed as well, and your body becomes very acidic, and it can contribute to a whole host of sickness too. So drink enough water, eating right, there's a big thing. And then stress management, we all are stressed.
Yeah.
I used to joke with my clients and I say that every morning we wake up, our dollar sign is running. Yeah, it's like a meter, like a taxi meter. It just goes, because we are in a rush and we want to pay this and pay that, and so we are desperate. Yeah. In the desperation, we forgo our health, our mental peace, and social interaction. So we become very isolated in a crowded city. Yeah. So managing stress would be a big thing to do, because that would help you to calm down and refocus on yourself. And when you're focused on yourself, you're empowered to make creative decisions when you're calm and peaceful. And those decisions, when they are made when you're calm and peaceful, are usually beneficial, opposed to being wrong. Yeah. So it's always good to do some kind of stress management, be it meditation, doing some exercise, yoga, and one of the best exercise you can actually do is walking. Walking works both your hemispheres in your head, and it's the best thing to overcome stress, depression.
Is there any certain way you need to walk?
Well, just walk. If you're not a brisk walker, just walk, and get into the habit of walking. Walk for 45 minutes daily, and you see a huge difference starts to happen. Yep, and then you start to gain momentum. You can walk faster. Wear a good pair of shoes when you're walking.
Thank you so much.
How about you? What are the tips that you're going to apply in your life so that you can become much more stronger in your stamina? Strength we need inside out cannot be underestimated. So in this next segment,
that we're going to look at is going to be really exciting for me because it's a reintroduction. As you might know, in the last 5 segments, we have been introducing Buckminster Fuller, and he is known as the, John Denver, the late singer, called him grandfather to the universe. Just like founding father of Singapore, Lee Kuan Yew, Buckminster Fuller is known as the grandfather to all of us. So that's his principles, his teachings are some of a very important part of our work. And in this segment, introduce to you who is Bucky. For those who have never heard of Buckminster Fuller, otherwise known as Bucky, this will be a treat for you.
And when we asked our guest today, Buckminster Fuller, to send in biographical information, here's what we got, folks. This is 67 pages worth of honorary degrees and credentials, accomplishments, publications. You have been called the greatest living genius. You have been called the Leonardo da Vinci of our time, the Benjamin Franklin of the space age, and you've also been called a crackpot. How would you describe yourself?
As a very, very average human being.
Buckminster Fuller, the man you just heard from, is an engineer, inventor, mathematician, and philosopher.
He has been called a visionary, a prophet, a genius.
Mr. Fuller, of all of the people that I have interviewed, you are the most difficult to define. You called yourself a random element. Other people have called you an experience.
An author, a designer, a scientist.
He's even a cosmogonist, which I neither know how to spell nor do I know what it is.
A New World thinker, if there ever was one, or Buckminster Fuller.
We ourselves consist physically of atoms, and we know that all the atoms have their frequencies. It is theoretically possible to pick up all of our frequencies and actually send us by radio.
You mean we'll be able to transmit ourselves somewhere else?
Yes.
To be reconstituted in some distant place?
Yeah.
Wow, how is that for you? So 2 minutes of understanding who Bucky is, and how many of you are now inspired to see what Bucky had to share. He was born in 1890s and he passed on in the 1980s. And it's a huge pleasure that we are mentored by his students and from US. This amazing work has been spreading in Asia for the last decades. And we are so excited that we are able to present Bucky's work in this Shining Red Dot show. So then I'm sure you're now going to look back on all the other episodes and look forward to the future episodes on what Bucky had to say, because he was, as you heard, not just, he introduced himself as a very, very average person, human being, and others called him an experience. And that's exactly what every human being in our mind feel that we need to work towards achieving, being an experience for others to really live a life that people can look, when they connect with you, they feel you and they can experience you as a way of, someone that they can connect with for their highest good. And so this is really exciting that we are able to present Bucky's work through this Shining Red Dot show. So that's the segment for you on that. So right now, we're going to be, having a special message from a dear friend of ours all the way from UK. And she is someone that we connected very recently, and many of you would have seen my posts and our websites where we talk about Ladies Go Live. So let's hear what Lottie Hearn of Ross of a Press Play presentation. She's the founder of this organization, and she had a special message for us for National Day. Let's check it out.
Thank you. It's a privilege to shine with you all, and want to say a very, very, very happy Singapore National Day. Happy birthday to Singapore from both myself and from all the ladies who go live from all around the world, and the gents too. So happy birthday to Singapore from Ladies Go Live.
So did you like that? Because Lottie is one of our co-authors, and it's really exciting that she's on board with us. And in such a short notice, we have connected in the deepest way. And not to forget, Ladies Go Live will get live on 25th of August. And it's a full day event that's free pass. For your free pass, you can go to ladiesgolive.com and register there. I'm one of the speakers on the panel. I'm really privileged to represent people from this part of the world, because I will be sharing about the power of getting online, live streaming, as they say, Ladies Go Live, and how we have over the years, personally have my experience in reaching out to various communities in Asia to get them, be aware of certain topics that we have been sharing. So that's for Ladies Go Live. So remember to go in there and click on the free register pass, and you can get a full day of on the 25th of August. So now we've come to the segment on interviews. As you know, we do have a tip segment, and then we have a special feature interview segment with one of our authors, co-authors. And this segment today is with Miraculous Miranda. That's how I'm going to call her from now on. This amazing lady is a dear friend of ours for many years, and I've connected back with her recently through Futures of Business training program by Marshall. And it's a huge privilege and a real honor for her to be part of our book. And this is what I had a great time connecting with her in her office, and this interview that I did in her place, to say, was one of the very fun interview that I've done. And we had all these, experiments and working out on various backdrops, to see what will fit most for this whole this interview. So I hope you like it, because we really enjoyed having that. So let's get online and watch what Miranda had to say.
How many of you want to know what are miracles? And how do you create miracles in your business and your life? And would you want the expert, the guru of miracles, share it with you? Here we have with us Miranda Hearn. Miranda is the specialist in creating miracles for business people and entrepreneurs and many others who are seeking to shift their life into greater prosperity in business, in life, in education, in relationships, anything that you want to shine inside out. What is the work of MiracleLife?
I have presented and trained thousands of men and women for the last 20 years, through various forms of training. MiracleLife has been around for 9 years, and at the same time before that, I have already started training, And MiracleLife is my life work. I call the Miracle Method in my seminars, personal development seminars, training courses, and retreats.
Okay.
And
what are these miracle methods? It sounds really miraculous.
Yes. And then before I answer that question, what is a miracle method? Really, miracle method is about helping people to turn their dreams into reality. Those dreams that they thought were probably very difficult to achieve or even impossible to achieve, then they actually achieve it, and that's a miracle. So it's results they thought were difficult, never possible, and they achieve it financially, emotionally, and in their relationships. And if you're a business person, then you achieve your breakthroughs in your business in terms of being able to create a team, being an amazing, heart-based, powerful leader, and to be able to have your breakthroughs financially as well.
Okay.
And then with the miracle method, that's the question you were asking just now. And it contains 7 elements, right? And it can be easily explained with each letter in the word miracle.
Okay.
M-I-R-A-C-L-E.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell us more about that.
Okay, great. M stands for mindset. Now, Buckminster Fuller says that 99% of who we are is invisible and untouchable. So what are the invisible part? That I would believe that would be mindset, emotional states, and also our soul. So when I talk about being able to transform your mindset, I meant actually transforming your mind, your emotional states, and your soul.
Okay.
And empowering it up so that you're able to create the results that you like to create. And means identifying life mission, which means helping you to be able to identify the purpose that you feel passionate about.
Okay.
And then things you love to do.
All right.
Now, R means restore health, Yeah. So when you are able to resolve those negative emotions, a lot of our negative emotions are also stored in our body. And when you're able to resolve those negative emotions, you potentially are able to heal your body symptoms too, and that happens a lot with a lot of our graduates. Yeah. And once you're able to restore your health, and of course you learn whatever you need to learn to help you to become healthier and healthier. And naturally, when you have more energy and more health, you can create what you like to create, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
And then A stands for taking massive action. So that's what Marshall Tolbert says. He says that human are verbs, we are not noun. Yeah. And there is no results, no dream that can be turned into reality if you don't move. Yeah. Absolutely. And then what's important is to realize is that when you have powerful mindset to support you and you're doing what you really love and a purpose that you're passionate about, then the inspiration to take action comes a lot more naturally.
Yeah, it's
right?
like a culmination that you're bringing it to.
Yeah, it's a combination. Yeah, and then the discipline to do something, stopping procrastination and making things happen, you have a more natural flow of discipline, right? Okay, so action is an important part in creating miracles. C is contribution. So in our business, we talk a lot about loving and adding value. That's part of our core values. Yeah. I'm to love and add value. And that's what we believe to be the most abundant energy, right? And when I first started the business, I had no money and I didn't know how the business is going to turn out, the next month, the next 3 months. And I just keep on reminding myself what I've learned from many teachers, which is when I love and add value, I don't need to worry about money. That's what I kept on telling myself, right? Yes. And then, so that's contribution, and that even though that can be part of the mindset, because under the mindset part, we talk a lot about some core values, that can really help you to create the miracles. However, since contribution is such a big part, I take it out specifically to emphasized. That's right. Yeah. And then L is lifelong learning. Okay. Yeah. So the universe is this big. If it is this big, then planet Earth is a dot. And then a human is, you can't even probably see it. So the universe is huge, and there's a lot of things we don't know yet. There's a lot of wisdom and knowledge and a lot of wisdom out there. So for me to expand my business, I know that there's still a lot of things out there that I can learn and use to help me to keep on expanding me and expanding the business and expand my participants.
And that's so important in business. It's like you keep learning and learning so you can keep expanding.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, and then we have E, the environment. So environment is stronger than will. We become our environment. Yes. So I would like to keep myself in a kind of network that inspires me, that charges me up, that electrifies me, and keeps me on the right track, and that is able to charge me up in the 7 elements that I just talked about.
Yes.
Right.
Something that is very natural. Yeah. Becomes natural for you when you are in that environment.
Exactly.
Yes, that's very empowering.
Because most people out there, they are more fear-based instead of being empowering. And so if you don't want to be a mediocre, it's important that you find those groups that helps you to be who you like to be.
That's right.
Otherwise, it can be very easy to drop into those habits or those energy you would not want to be in.
Right. Through a certain technique, how do you get people to go into that?
Yep. We have processes, interventions that helps people to go into, to master the 7 elements in the miracle method. Okay. Yeah, and the results can be phenomenal. They are miraculous.
Well, we have been hearing a lot about that, and when going to your website, we see a lot of testimonials. Yeah. And people have been transformed from no money to a lot of money and no relationship to married happily ever after kind of a conversation. Yeah. So it's very empowering.
Yeah. And from my various teachers of mine, when I started my business, I had no money. Yeah, and I had no clue how is the market going to respond to my training. I had no clue what's going to happen. And there's quite a period of time in the beginning of the training that I don't know what's going to happen to the company in another 1 month's time or 3 months' time, And all I just keep on telling myself as I learn from the different teachers is so long I focus on loving and adding value, I don't need to worry about money. you know. And so the universe is big, there's a lot of wisdoms out there, and I will enjoy keep on learning for the rest of my life. I feel really privileged and honored to be part of the Shining Red Dot campaign. The reason why I'm part of this campaign is because to serve the purpose of this campaign. The purpose of this campaign is to be able to help business leaders in Singapore to be able to go global. And I'm excited, and I would like to be part of the force that helps the business leaders in Singapore to be able to do that. Yeah. And now the book is going to be launched on the 30th of August. So I'm inviting all of you to join the launch, and I will, you know, it'll be beautiful to have you there. And I just feel very, very privileged and really, really blessed to be an entrepreneur in Singapore. Singapore is a great country for entrepreneurs, and I guess being part of the Shining Red Dot campaign is one way that I give back to Singapore as well.
Now that is something really, really exciting, isn't it? So we are looking at co-authors that are full of experience. You know, when Miranda shared with me about the MiracleLife, how many of you feel like, oh my God, I want to experience that in my life? And please sign up for the free seminar that she has available on the website, and you can definitely, you know, enjoy some of the miracles in your life, and we pray that happens to you as well. So in these segments that we have put together, all our co-authors are sharing some powerful, heartful insights with you, so that, you know, as you hear them, you can feel them as an experience. Plus, when you read that book, it's going to make a lot more sense, and, you know, you feel that you're reading stuff about people that you have already met, seen, you know, online. So this is where we are, you know, wanting to achieve a difference through the show as well as through the book, and that's like double impact value add, right? So here's what we have in store for you, and what we offer in Shine Go Global. So right now, we're going to step into the final segment, which is the quiz segment. Many of you watching the previous episode might have overlooked it because it was like such a small, short part of it. But you're going to refer back to it right now, because out of this 10 episodes that we are doing, you just have to answer 5 questions, 5 episode questions, and you can stand to win attractive prizes, consultations, and e-books, e-products and services that worth hundreds of dollars. So I'm sure you would want to make the best out of it. So this week's quiz question is, what is the 3 areas that Brandon Yong of Scale Up Marketing shared when it came to marketing automation of your business? Hint for you is it's in episode 1. You can check it out on episode 1. And we look forward to, you know, really bringing in more exciting facts and awesome entrepreneurs and co-authors that have built some amazing results in their life, as well as looking forward to sharing their experience, not just as an inspiration story, but also for you to connect with them and create some amazing results in your life in going global. So thank you so much for tuning into this episode 6. This is Aziza Jalaluddin, celebrating our nation, celebrating our business community.
by step, together we'll build our dreams. Heart to heart, together we'll stay as one nation, undivided. Back to back, together we'll brave the heat, the cold, the storms. Hand in hand, together we'll grow this land that we call home.